Rashida stormed through the door. With the news burning in her eyes and consuming her like a tsunami, she resolved to face the source of her anguish. "What did you just say?" With her arms crossed and her back to the wall, she insisted on speaking in a harsh, demanding voice and grinned. "I have a baby. He's acting like Kirk is his father," giving her the best news conceivable. Rashida's heart began to sink. She was inside, shocked and furious. "Think you can just come in with that information? You're insane. It's not my fault since you failed to discipline him." Jasmine shrugged. These were some extremely cutting comments. "You feel that Rashida's fury is like a game. You're attempting to ruin my family as a result of an error." With more than a tinge of disobedience in her eyes, Jasmine stepped forward. "You're not lying, Rashida. There is no denying that this is happening. You are unaware of Rashida's boiling blood. You can't handle who you are, so I won't allow you to take my life." Jasmine chuckled, but it was cold and uncomfortable. "You're missing some important details." Kirk made his decision. Everything changed because of this baby. Tension permeated the room. Rashida stepped toward her, all words and feelings left unsaid. "You seem to be winning with your low tone and steady caustic voice. I'll stand up for my union as well as my household. You won't simply remove that." I noticed that Jasmine's eyebrows lifted. "As much as you would like to show your disapproval and blend arrogance and lightheartedness, love doesn't go away because you're upset. He's over your foolishness." Rashida balled her fists and inhaled deeply, telling her that this is all theatrical and that this is my family and my life will assist her to relax. "You are only a distraction, nothing more." Rashida's forecast, if anything, Jasmine shot back at her with a sharp, "I'm the one." "Who is it that has promised him happiness?" "It has been a while since you finished the you believe." Rashida became enraged. "You're going too far if you walk in here and act like this is your place." Before Jasmine could even register a thought, Rashida raised her hand and slapped her hard across the face. As the sounds reverberated through the tense atmosphere, Jasmine was stunned and irritated at her for giving the impression that this was a joke. Rashida inhaled deeply and snarled, "Adrenaline, you don't know who you are," trying to soothe Jasmine down by playing with her, her face displaying a bright, intense glow. "Please don't slap me. I'm terrified of it." Suffered more with her pulse pounding from the stress of the noise, Rashida strolled around the living room. She was astounded to learn of the knife-edge, startling treachery that she had only learned about the day before. She felt quite uncomfortable even thinking about it. Intolerable, she would never have thought to take a closer look into her husband's relationship. She took a deep breath and found the confidence to speak with him. Kirk started to say something, but then stopped. "I'm shivering, but I have to know the truth. Rumors have been spreading about you and my mother." Kirk went pale, looking momentarily like he was truly lost. "Rashida, what are you talking about?" "You have my undying hatred," she declared. "I swear never to lie to me." "Cannot continue to dispute this. I have evidence." "Could you truly hurt me this badly, Kirk?" "It's not what you believe about your mother and myself." She shot back, looking shocked and clearly ill-prepared for the exchange. "Instead of being confident and out and about, you're hiding. I was meant to have you as a friend. How could you betray me when you had my mother?" I find the atmosphere's tension to be appealing. Folding her arms, Rashida felt the weight of broken trust deeply pierce her heart. She didn't stop staring at him, expecting for him to give an explanation, but it appeared as though he was having difficulty breathing. He circled the room again and again, as though he were looking for something I had forgotten. He was finally ready to say that. Instead of continuing to be defensive, it wasn't anything that held any significance for her. "Do you really think that makes it better?" I questioned, shocked. "This is more than a passing relationship. This is my mother. It's not merely a betrayal of our partnership. It's a familial betrayal." Kirk moved aside. His face revealed an even more profound agony. "Rashida, please give me time to recuperate. If you give me an opportunity to explain what's happening, we can resolve this." Not out of fear, but rather because of the unbearable anguish she's experiencing since you picked her over me. Rashida's voice wavered as she whispered, broke through an unbreakable barrier, and felt the silence that engulfed him. While Rashida was battling, tears seemed to fall all over her, making it impossible for him to see how broken she was. More than that, recollections of their affection for each other flashed through her head. Tainted by his treachery, there are consequences to your actions. Kirk, her voice sounded aggressive. Even in the storm, she spoke with firmness. I deserve more from her than this deep down. You have broken my confidence. I expect loyalty and respect, especially from my own husband, in a manner that surprised me. Agony clouded Kirk's perception as he found it difficult to put into words. I didn't plan to hurt you. It was only a result of my weakness and lack of thought, believing that was not the reason you gave. Rashida's remarks showed no consideration for rage. Since you are an adult, you ought to have been aware. Better yet, instead of just making this error, you chose to deceive me in the first place. She turned her back on him in the worst way imaginable. Needs some breathing room to process the mayhem coursing through her heart. Not even sure, really. With a whisper, she said, "Look at you now." Her voice shaking, she gripped the door. "This is beyond your capabilities to overcome. You have gone too far." Kirk snapped a photo of his hand. "Please don't grab Rashida's wrist. Continue onward rather than turning away." Though his words, "I love you," lingered in the air, Rashida experienced a surge of feelings. Her love was pure and sincere. She restated the fact that loving families couldn't coexist. "Your behavior is the exact opposite of love, which is astounding. How am I ever going to trust you again?" She's back to see you, crying all the way. She released her grip on her arm, her heart racing and her will unwavering despite the pain. She stepped outside into the surge of chilly night air that poured over her, and it took me a while to realize that you had destroyed all we had worked so hard to build. I'm not sure I'll ever be able to look at you the same way again, anchoring her in the midst of the chaos so that she felt both lost and unburdened. She found Kirk's deceit to be deeply troubling. Standing by her side alone, Kirk was dealing with the consequences of his actions and realized that he might have lost Stormy 25, the love of his life, whom he had been dating for a year and who appeared to be an Atlanta hip-hop singer he looked up to. At this time, Rashida has had enough, and he is prepared to petition for divorce. Rumor has it that he is wed to Kirk Frost. For a considerable amount of time, Rashida has tolerated Kirk's an unending procession of adultery is. Union Kirk is receiving greater media attention now that he has come to terms with his lying and dishonesty. They have suffered continuously as a result of his acts. More than 3 times due to his repulsive actions with his treachery on TV during a trip about hip-hop and love is one of the most unforgettable moments. It became well known for its ferocity and Kirk's blatant denial of paternity when Rashida was expecting a child in season 2, was a means to reach the source of the enormous drama explosion that rocked them throughout season 3. Kirk tested his DNA to establish his paternity, a decision that exacerbated the situation and sent Rashida spiraling in their tumultuous relationship. Dramatic arguments arise from marriage as well. Despite their age, Rashida appears prepared to regain control over her life and end a marriage that has evidently been a turbulent soap opera, particularly with her mother Shirlene, who famously ran Kirk's motorcycle over during a heated dispute. Opera if the divorce-related claims turn out to. Indeed, that would be a big change. For the turbulent connection between Rashida, an experienced cast member known for balancing her job, family, and children, and Kirk, undoubtedly, Rashida's adventure will go down in history. Many people support Rashida's decision to end her relationship with Kirk Frost after years of deceit. Rashida seemed to be tired of being Kirk's sidekick, dishonesty and deception, opting to prioritize her happiness and peace of mind as she departs the turbulent. Union Kirk angrily shook his head. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It appeared as though she had taken off with the money, and I was left scratching my head in confusion. People's resources claim that I'm currently hiding behind a web of accusations, but the truth is that I'm the one who has harmed Jessica. With greater understanding, she said, "What are you doing to deal with these accusations and get your possessions back?" Kirk put on a tough exterior, determined that this will be difficult, even if I've already started with legal seeds. Battle, but I'm determined to get back what is truly mine. It's not just about the money. This has to do with revealing the truth and removing my record. I want everyone to understand that I'm not merely having fun. Taking the lead, Jessica reclined. Determining whether Kirk's remarks are relevant, there will likely be a lot of public interest in your stress management strategies due to the case's notoriety. Influence on your standing. Kirk inhaled deeply. There was a mixture of resolve and tiredness in his look. The fact that everyone is closely observing this makes me anxious, but I have to keep reminding myself that I must remain focused. Understanding that this is about justice and making sure the truth is revealed and that it goes beyond just my position. Jessica nodded politely. Which aspect do you wish to elucidate further? Your advocates throughout this turbulent. Kirk's voice grew softer with time, but it remained firm and distinct. Thank you so much for that. To be perfectly honest, I need our help. In everything, I want to be completely transparent and honest. I just want to keep secrets now. I'm done lying. His tone hardened as he spoke with resolve. Rashida felt the strain in her shoulders loosen a little as she observed him. Can you honestly say that you're ready for the upcoming chaos? And it could be painful. In a positive tone, he stated that messy was an improvement over nothing. A blazing flame joined them. I'm not interested in this. I want to fight to get away from it. For what we still had and what we could control, has she grudgingly considered his? But otherwise, trust is not going to be simple. Destroyed, therefore we'll have to start over from scratch. He seems to be being somewhat honest, but even if our return isn't flawless, I still want to try if we are both prepared to be sincere. At last, Rashida parted her arms, her countenance becoming more gentle as the walls separating them started to crumble. Okay, let's get real for once. Everything about it. Kirk inhaled deeply. I was horrified, simultaneously relieved and terrified. Rashida felt afraid. I buried myself in distractions because I was afraid I would make mistakes or lose you. But I was also nervous. She sighed slightly and acknowledged it. Lips afraid to show weakness and a persistent injury, so I made an effort to take. The only thing I was aware of was authority.